Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. Today I'm in London, and this in front of me is the Albert Memorial, which is a beautiful monument that I'm gonna put on my sketchbook today. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for following this live stream. I will wait another bit before starting. I just put the link on my Instagram as well. This live is a bit unexpected because I was around the town, and I was around the area actually, and the weather was beautiful, so I decided to do a live here. Yeah, so let's wait for if someone else is joining, and I will start in 2 minutes. But how are you? I've seen Nuhalia. Nuhalia is watching again today. Welcome back. Hope you are well. Today the weather is way better than the last time you saw the live. I'm glad for that. And yeah, let me know if you can see everything all right. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Actually, today I didn't plan to draw outside, but fortunately I put everything in my bag, and I could have this sketchbook in my hand today, so I could. I'm really glad that I came here, and then I'm about to draw this and sharing with you. So it's being really nice. I'm still a bit jet lagged, believe or not, from the trip to Japan. Sometime, yes, I sleep way more than I should, but I guess it's a good thing. Okay, I think we can start. So welcome everyone, and this is the Albert Memorial in Hyde Park. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a beautiful day in London, so I decided to come here in Hyde Park, central London, to do a bit of sketching. I hope you will like this live stream. I'm trying to do more lives now on YouTube. I think I missed the live part when I was in Japan, and I definitely want to catch up on this, and yeah, keep producing sketches in live. It's really nice for me. I really enjoy this, and I miss when I was in Japan without internet. So yeah, guys, welcome back, and let me know where you are watching from. I know, Nuhalia, you're watching from Morocco, so I know you already. Daya Nambla, where are you watching from? Hello. And Akasha Chetty. Sorry if I pronounced that wrongly. Bear me. Apologize for my bad pronunciation. Where are you watching from? You enjoyed the challenge? Oh, nice. The challenge finished officially yesterday, and I was so glad I could. I received so many sketches from you, and I'm really surprised about the amount of people that joined the challenge, and I'm super glad that I found all you people that drew with me along the journey across Japan. I really love that feeling of being backed up and being supported by you guys. and also see your interpretation of the scenery I was visiting in Japan. I was like something really nice. I think if anything is good about the internet is that internet brought people and linked them together, brought people in one place, and is able to share things with people and share between the internauts around the web. And Instagram helps a lot to do that. So I'm really, really glad I did that. So tomorrow I will put the 10 best entries in a reel on Instagram, and then that shortlist will become the 10 shortlister that I will choose then the winner at the end of the week, and give them the giveaways, the phantom pen from the Good Blue. So yeah, keep watching on YouTube. I will do a YouTube stream on Saturday, this Saturday, the 22nd, if I'm not wrong, the 22nd, yes, of April. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to select the winner. Although a lot of people like submitted so many good work, so I will have really like a challenging time ahead to select the best one. It's a really difficult decision to make, but unfortunately the gift set is only one, so I have to award the best of you guys. So yeah, that being said, thank you for watching and following the challenge in Japan. So yeah, back in on the drawing. So I am in Hyde Park, and this is the Albert Memorial. So let me explain a bit of history behind it. So Hyde Park is probably the biggest park in. Oh, let me tweak actually the camera. Yeah, that's probably better. And you can't see much because I flipped the camera, but I hope now you can see better. But anyway, behind me is the. Let me check if you can see anything. Yeah, something. It's not bad. So behind me is the Albert Memorial, which was built by Queen Victoria in the end of the mid 18th century, in the 1861, if I'm not wrong, and it was dedicated to her late husband and the Prince Consort Albert, and is although their two marriage was combined, was arranged by their family, it reveals to be a very strong love, and there were a very strong bond between them. And then this monument is the testament that Albert was so important for Victoria that she refused to marry other people after he passed away, and he decided to wear in black, not red, definitely not red. It's not the color you want to wear when you are mourning. So yeah, so he decided to wear in black for the rest of her life, and decided to dedicate a lot of monuments to her husband. This was one, and next to it actually is the, I don't know if you can see, is the Royal Albert Hall. Is another beautiful architecture dedicated to the Prince Consort Albert. So that was a bit of history behind this monument. And yeah, I think if you can see that golden statue of Albert sitting in there, it was made of gold. It's gold, it's coated in gold, but I think that is the message Queen Victoria wanted to give, and tell everyone how important he was in her life. So yeah, so I'm gonna draw this beautiful monument It is a Gothic style monument. It looks like the Gothic cymborrium. It's like the architectural element in the church behind the altar, or sometime above the altar, to frame it, to make it more monumental. So you can often find this element in a church, but this one is a bigger version of that. It's 51 meters tall, so it's pretty tall for a monument. And yes, it's showing how big the love for her prince consort was. So I'm gonna draw this behind me. And by the way, if you watch the series The Crown, you know everything about this already. But I quite recommend that series. It's pretty good. It's, I think, the season 2 or the season 1, the first season of The Crown, was telling the story around Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. So highly recommend you to watch that if you haven't done yet. Yeah, that being said, I'm gonna draw this monument behind me, and I'm gonna use the Moleskine Art Series sketchbook with a vertical format. I'm gonna show you now my fountain pen that I'm gonna use. Bear me a second, I'm just readjusting the camera. Doing live is totally another thing, and it took a lot of time and preparation, which I clearly didn't today. So I hope you can hear and see everything all right. So okay, that's a very good view. So this is my view, and you can see some trees above the monument. So I really like when I have some vegetation in the drawing. In this time all the vegetations are behind the monument, but I love this tree that is casting a little bit of like a shape and texture to the top of the composition. So I definitely want to retain this tree crown on the top, and I want to use this to frame the monument. So yeah, let's see how so now I'm gonna explain you how I will compose this scene. But I usually, if you have watched my streams before, I don't normally have a composition ahead of my in my head before I started to draw. I always start to compose while I'm drawing on the sketchbook. So let me go through the sketchbook. So if you watch the last streams, I did this like spire on top of the church, St. Leonard's Church in Shoreditch. On the live, I didn't color the background, but then when I was joining the meeting with Urban Sketchers London, one of the sketchers showed me his tool, his watercolor, like a set of metallic watercolor tool. So I asked if I could use it, and then there we go. Here is my little experimentation of the of this sketch. So yeah, thank you for thank you for the comments, Nuhalia, and I will definitely keep doing more of this in the future. So today I will start a drawing, but probably it will be only black and white of this monument. You can see I've got another stamp here. It's from Japan. So this one is from I think I forgot where it was from actually. When was the latest one I visited? I think it's in Nikko. Must be Nikko somewhere. Oh no, it's Tofukuji. I think it's the cat one. The one with the Maneki Neko. So yeah, I've got this one here, and I'm gonna draw the scenery on the right hand side of the sketchbook. So I will put the architecture in here, and with some vegetation around. So let's get started. So let me bring the pen. Bear me a second. Yeah, so I'm gonna use this pen from Andrea Ottobrelli. He's the pen maker from Milan. He gave me this wooden, like it's timber made phantom pen, and I'm gonna use this because I loaded with some Turkish ink mixed with black ink. So I'm gonna use this one for this drawing, and let's get started. So I will lower my camera on my sketch as usual, and then I will cut this video. I will release another version of this video with the image of the church on the side, like in here. So on this one, on the live, I will turn the camera down. I hope everyone can see the sketchbook all right. Yeah, as usual, this is the camera angle. It seems quite working, quite okay. So I just try to keeping this setup for now. And so there is a bit of wind today, and I will definitely want to. Oh, got a bag that is pushing on the side. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I will read the comments if I can on the way. Daya, Nambia, you're watching from India. Hello, how is the weather there? Oh, Akansha is watching from Reading. Reading. Oh wow, it's very close. You should definitely come over in London one day, and we can sketch together. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use this pen, and let me bring my paper clips in here. These are the paper clips from the Travelers Company. Then Sid, you're watching from Switzerland. Hi. You're very close to my hometown in Italy. Oh god. Okay. Now I've clipped my pages, so now they will not move around because it's quite windy today. UK is pretty windy, and yeah, I normally use the paper clips to put to make like a firm surface to draw, but even without the wind I like to use these clips because it looks so nice on my sketchbook. So Instagram loves it. For some reason the algorithm in Instagram loves these clips, so since then I was using this. So I plugged my phone to the power bank, so now it's working. It has juice. Oh, good morning from California, the rainy California. Oh, wow, that's rare. What happened? How come it's raining in California? That's unfortunately. Sorry to hear that. But I guess you had enough sun, so sometime you want to have some rain, right? It's a good positive way to see that. So, yeah, hello everyone. You are literally from all the corner of the world. You are from California, in the America. You're from India, and you're from Europe, Switzerland, and yeah, I'm so glad to be able to connect with you around the world. So this is the good part of internet that I like. So let's start another drawing. So I'm about to start to draw the Albert Memorial in Hyde Park, and in a separate video I will release hopefully soon. You can see the image in here. So if you want to come back and watch this video again, you're very welcome in the future. I will edit this video a bit, so I will cut out all the moment, the silent moment, and yeah, make things more fluid and linear to watch. So let's start with the composition of like where I start. So I normally, for a monument like this, which is very complicated, I want to lock all the major elements of the monument first. So I know the spires here, and then the body of this monument is like the second half in here. So once I know that, I can then start to draw the basic shapes of the monument. I don't worry too much about if their lines are precise, but as long as they are thin and they are consistent. So the monument is slightly elevated, so this is the level of the pedestal, I call, and there is this triangular element here. So I'm just locking all the elements in place. So my eye level is pretty low. Everything is above a grade, so it's graded up. So there is a stairs elements on the bottom that elevate everything above the ground level. So my eyes is in here. This is my eye level. Sometimes I start with the eye level, but sometimes I just start with the composition instead. So this is my focal point. Because I hope you can see it. So if this is my eye level, the focal point for me is ahead of my head. So the monument is on the left hand side, so all the perspective lines goes to the center of my view, which is somewhere there on the horizon line. The horizon line is roughly the line of this the grass when it ends, and it's pretty much where the feet of these people are. Because I'm lower, my head is at their field level. So yeah, so this is the green, the upper part of the grass is my line, which is this line here, and I'm gonna put the central view here, so all the perspective line goes to this point. So as you can see, this is the focal point, so all the lines should go towards that direction. So I will draw this part first, because this part is the core of the monument, and I want to get it right, so then the rest can be built up on this later on. So Akansha, you ask me when the horizon line is little tilted. So the horizon line is never tilted unless your head is tilted. But usually in a drawing, you don't want to tilt the level of the horizon. So usually in all of the drawings, the horizon line is always horizontal. So if you want to create like some type of scenic way, like a very dynamic sketch, then you have to tilt it. But usually if you stand still, if you stand on a point and look straight ahead of you, in any pictures or in any like scenes that you are watching, the horizon line is always horizontal. So yeah, so that's the answer, I hope, to your questions. Usually the horizon line is always horizontal, so you can place that in different level at different areas in the different places of the page, but it's always horizontal because your head is straight. So I hope I answered your questions, but let me know if you have any other doubts about this. So sometimes I use the back of the nib. So this is an FM nib, medium nib. So sometimes it's quite thick. So for details that I haven't decided yet, I use the back of the nib for commodity without needing to change the pen to another one. Because otherwise you have to use a finer nib and a medium nib together, but then you will have to load the exact type of ink every time. But by flipping the nib, you don't need to do that. So if you choose a fountain pen, I will recommend you to check if the pen can write backwards. Sorry, backwards, not backwards, like if it can write when it's flipped like this. Not all the nib has a consistent stroke when you write on the other way around. So there is pretty high wind. The wind is quite high, quite strong today. So my camera is sometimes shaking. So yeah, I will be quite quick on this one too. So I want to put the statue of the Prince Albert in here. It's very reflective actually, because it's gold, and the reflection, because the sunlight is behind me, if you can see the shadow, so the sunlight reflect that exactly in front of my eyes. So I've got a big like a bloom of lights right in front of me, so it's not easy to look at it. So I might need to wear my sunglasses. Again, if you are drawing outdoor, you might want to have a pair of sunglasses with you at all time, in case the sunlight gets too strong and it can damage your eyes if you are exposed for a long time when you're drawing. Especially the paper can reflect a lot of lights. So if you're drawing on a white paper, like directly under the sunlight, you may want to wear sunglasses when you're drawing to protect your sight. Okay, so I just add some really quick strokes to lock the columns in here, the length of the column. And the statue here. So got all the layers here. This is a very decorated monument. It's almost a reminiscence of the ancient, the Romanic style, or the the styles. What's the name? It's slipping away from my mouth. The Byzantine style, because of the use of gold. If you visit Ravenna or even Turkey, there are a lot of examples of Byzantine architecture. That has the use of this triangular shape, the pure equal-sided triangle shape, and this type of Romanic architecture. So I've got some other details here. So this monument is so complicated in detail, so I don't really want to tackle all of them. it's very important to choose what you want to draw. So I'm not gonna draw them in detail for now. I just want to lock them, the basic shape, in place. So if you want to learn more about how to draw basic shapes and how to do architectural perspective and drawing complicated shapes, you can follow my online class at Class 101, where I went through in great details how I establish these elements and how I put in my composition. So check the link in my bio. So here I want to put all the elements in place as generic shapes, and then I will add more detail later on. So this is the line of the perspective. So if the end of the column is here, so you draw a line to the point of the center of the perspective in here, and then the crossing point of the perspective line and this line is the same height on the other column. So I know where the top of the other column is using this trick. Okay, so here there are some statue, really fine statue, really nice statue. These statue are very, how can I say, they are very classic. I think they are inspired by the mythology of the ancient Greek, because during the Victorian age they love to mix up with different culture. So you can see often like ancient Greeks gods portrayed in some of the statue of the Queen Victoria. So it is, yeah, at the time the study of the Greek culture was a big thing among the aristocrats of the time. So I just want to put the detail like roughly. Okay, so now I have the elements in place for the bottom. Before I carry on all the way to the ground, I want to do a little bit on the top, because the ground, I want to frame it somehow, so I don't want to draw too much. I will finish the whole composition, adding the tree in, putting the text, and then going back to the ground, if that makes sense. Yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. I will read every now and then the chat room, and see and hopefully reply to your questions. So really love this monument because it's so architectural. It's very architectural as a monument. It's basically a piece of building, almost like teleported in here. Meant to be on top of some churches or something, but it is like standing in this empty and elevated place in the middle of the park. So it creates a really good contrast with the natural environment around. So you can see this monument far, far away from the ends, each ends of the park actually. And when you are coming from the Albert Gate, which is the one on the right, you can really see it from the city, and it's a very good view actually, because it stands out from the trees, and you can see these spires of Gothic architecture in the middle of the park. So it's very, very nice as a monument. I think the architect is called Gilbert Scott, George Gilbert Scott. Yeah, I almost forgot about the name. The architect was George Gilbert Scott, and he designed this, and he was clearly an architect. It wasn't just a sculpture. So I'm just adding these lines that looks random, but they are really like the basic geometry to make the massing, all right, the volume of this spire correct, to suggest the volume instead of suggest every details. So I'm really not drawing everything precisely. I'm using a series of dotted line and dash line to build up things. Okay, I think the spires is here, and I want to introduce some vegetation. In here. And then I will put the name Albert Memorial in here. Let me put the double line here. All right. Yeah, it's quite busy in this area actually. I want to now end this one in here, and yeah, I will keep adding some details on the back of on the bottom of the monument. Oh, Kansha, you asked me if I want, if I put text in the drawings, if it's my style or I have to. Well, yeah, it's really more about my style. It's really, I started to put in text in my sketchbooks to help myself to remember what is the place I was drawing, and then became a bit of a style, and I always do that. So you are not forced to put the text, of course. It's entirely up to you. So yeah, this is the kind of my style, and I quite like it. I feel it's a nice way to add areas of drawings to complete your drawing and make it more, feels like more a travel journal rather than a piece of a complete art, like, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that is more I think of my style rather than a thing you have to do. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's add some people in front. So this is the, actually, I put the horizon line a bit too high. So the horizon line, after I did my composition, I found out it's roughly here. So everything is fluid. That's why I keep everything quite loose in case at the end I want to change things. So I would draw some people, like visiting it, like taking pictures. So there is a kid here. I want to draw my usual star, little star for the kids. And so there is a sculpture in here as well. That's the sculpture of the Queen Victoria, and I want to add roughly in here. And this becomes maybe something here that can counterbalance the huge monument in here. So there is a that sculpture is Queen Victoria sat on a cow. I think it's a cow. I think it symbolizes something. I need to do some researches at home. What do they symbolize? Actually, it's quite interesting. Ox. Maybe it's an ox. And there are two ladies at the bottom. It's quite interesting. So if you can't see, of course you cannot see now, but I'm talking about that sculpture there of the Queen Victoria and the ox. So I'm drawing it in here. Okay, this is the statue. So now let's add some contrast and shadow to the monument to bring it to life. So there is a tree here as well. Maybe I can use the tree to carve this statue out to make it more contrasted. So let's now focus on the dark areas. So this element in the shade is very, very important.
Whether you do Thursday, Sunday,
and then I want to highlight the top of the column and the shaded area behind it. So it's a combination of column, and the artist or the architect made an effort to make it lighter by splitting it into different columns. So on the monument there are a series of columns that are made made of lighter and thinner columns, so that makes the overall big pillar lighter. So that is a very used strategy to make your building lighter in the Gothic architecture. So when I'm talking about Gothic architecture, I'm talking about the medieval age. So can you imagine that the highest building, the highest looking building in the world, they are before, of course, the tower and the steel and concrete buildings. Before that age, all the tallest buildings are made in the Gothic area, in the Gothic age, so in the medieval age. So it's unbelievable. Like the medieval age is synonym of ignorance. Like if you think about the medieval age, you think about the dark age, where people were just superstitious. They don't often have any educations. They just have fear of science. They never gone to school, but then they are capable of making such a beautiful architecture, astonishing architecture that defeats the rules of gravity somehow already at the time. So it's incredible for me as an architect think about this. So I'm really into I'm really interested into the medieval architecture because I think we can learn so much from them, starting from the architecture. So the figure of architect itself wasn't existing in the medieval age. In that age, during the Gothic age, the style, the building were made of artisans, what built by artisans that has usually a group of craftsmen to work with them, and they built this architecture, this amazing tall architecture, by attempts because so many Gothic buildings has fallen apart during their construction because actually they don't have the power of the computer, the calculation of the modern architects. So they have just to rely on experience and like how big a structure can be and stand the enormous weight of the roof. They don't know, but they know from experience that that size of stone and marble can stand X amount of weight on top. So they just made and built by tentatives, and that sometimes can lead to very unpredictable consequences. So many of the cathedral, if you can see around Europe, they are not completed because they fall apart, and no one could save them. But it is a very interesting way to build architecture from experience. They build step by step. So it's fascinating. It's fascinating how they could manage to achieve so much without the aid of any computer. So yeah, we can learn a lot from them. So, but today let's finish this. Let's add some contrast and then we are good to go. So here there are a lot of shadows that created by the spires elements on the roof. So I really want to carve all these elements out by create the negative of these elements. So you can use the darkness of the shadow to actually highlight these elements, as you can see here. So yeah, shadow is a very powerful tool that you can use in your advantages. So here there is this beautiful niche behind it. So these elements are all very, very important to highlight my triangular roof, the gable, the top. So I really want to use all of these little shadows, little details to do this. There we go. And on the top I have this beautiful tritic niche with I think it's Victoria, or maybe is some Christian figures on top. So there is a niche on the top here, or maybe it's the Virgin Mary. Probably it's the Virgin Mary, or it could be Victoria herself. From here I cannot distinguish between them two. But what I want to distinguish is there is a figure inside this niche. So that's is all I want from it. So I'm not care too much about who this figure is for the purpose of my drawing. Yeah. So the sun is turning actually. I will have a little break. I will stand up a bit and then come back. Let me put the view back to the monument. Actually, the view now is amazing. Let me show you around. So this is the Albert Memorial, and that is the Queen Victoria statue there. And on the right, that is the Albert Hall, Royal Albert Hall, where they did a lot of concerts, like the movie concerts is quite big in here. So occasionally they let all the like a big composer who did the film, like Harry Potter or Star Wars. They are all playing here. So you can, if you are interested into movie soundtracks, this is a very good place to come. And I've been in a couple of them. I've been actually in the Star Trek one, and also the Harry Potter one there. But also like great musicians plays inside as well. But you know, Albert, Hyde Park is also famous for the music festival, like the Hyde Park Music Festival. It's huge. It's one of the biggest music gig in the world, I think. No, probably the Glastonbury one is the biggest. But Hyde Park is very famous. Like rock and roll bands like Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, even Queen came and performed in this park. I'm really gutted not to being born earlier to attend at one of these gigs. This is my regrets of being born in the 80s. If I was born in the 70s, probably I could come. But anyway. Okay, back to the drawing. Oops. Okay, so let's carry on with the lighting and the shadow. So I think I put enough details on the spire. Let me just add some hint of shadow, and on the top there is a globe, and then there is this little spire. Oh, it's not a spire, it's actually a cross. It's a cross, but it's on the other side, so it looks squeezed. It looks stretched, so I'm just putting where the shadows are. As usual, I put some bubble effect to make the spire lighter. Okay, so this is done. Let me put the hatching on the text. And Hyde Park. I will put the Hyde Park text in here as well. And today is, I think it was 16th. Oh, bear with me a second. 17. Oh, time flies. It's already the 17th of April. All right, and let's complete this facade. So there are some gargoyles on the side as well. I love it. One thing about the Gothic architecture that I like are the gargoyles. They are, I think, they are the testament of the creativity of the medieval age people. They are so creative. They figured these demons. They put these demons on their architecture, and they actually has a function. They are gutters for the rainwater, and they managed to portray their gutters with a animal figures. So it's very creative to It's so creative to put when you start to associate architecture elements with elements of the Bibles, and then you become really creative. You can make anything out of your architecture. So it's quite nice. Everything now is very modern and sterile. It's very industrial. Like the gutter is the gutter, has the shape of the gutter, and that's it. But at the time, in the medieval age, the column can be a saint that is holding the roof or something like that. So architecture is very, very similar to an art. It's a piece of art, and they are unique. It's not replicable because every cathedral will have their own saints, will have their own gargoyle set. So it's just so creative. Amazing time. Okay, I think I've done here. I just want to put some like very simple geometric construction with thin lines, because there are some decorations on top. I just want to put some hints on it. I don't want to destroy the simplicity of the drawing. I just want to highlight the essential elements. Otherwise, the risk is always to do too much and make the facade very busy and confusing. I think it's fine. So I want to add some shadow to the Albert's statue. I want to add some shading to the lower part of each of the elements, the limb, the head, so it can be recognizable. And then I want to make the pedestal visible by adding shadows, so you can see each of the layers. And then okay, I will carry on carving those column out from the basic shape. And also there are some statue in here. I just want to highlight their base to say that they are holding on something, they are placed on something else. So then there are a series of pedestals in here. I think I would just want to draw their roughly position. And so I want to use the columns to highlight those statue in here. Okay, and also here is all in shadow. So this part is shaded. There are some statue on the other side. Okay, there's a dark one here. And this complex of statue now in here is white, so I really want to carve this statue out by drawing this element on the back in as dark as I can. And okay. Okay, I think I've done with the statue. I can add something in here, because all around the basement, sorry, the podium of this monument is surrounded by bas reliefs. It's like a Greek temples with bas relief all around, so I can just draw the heads of these people around the bas relief. You can see I'm talking about those bas relief over there. It's all around, so it would be nice to somehow suggest this texture by adding something. I can use the back of the nib to suggest the shape, but they are just simple lines to suggest this bas relief, nothing more. Okay, I think that should do. And I want to not to do too much on the stairs. So here there are a series of stairs, but I want to keep this very white, almost empty, to create some sort of contrast with the gate. So I want to keep these two elements separated, so you can read them as two separate planes. And then let me add some shadow to the Queen Victoria's statue in here. All right, I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to add too much except of the trees in the background here. I will use the back of the nib to produce the finest line that I can to draw this tree around behind the statue. Just simple texture. I don't need to draw any branches details because it's in the background. So the shading of the tree can add some more contrast to the staircase, so you can really highlight the staircase. Okay, I think I'm quite happy about how it came out. I will just add some little more details to the crown shape, and maybe I will maybe conclude. Let me check. I don't know if I want to put like some hint to the like some sort of frame. I think I will. So I will put a frame here, like a partial frame, and then I will connect this branch all the way to the fence, and maybe to the ground, to the very ground, like this. That actually makes more sense. So there is a little bit of ending on this side. And I think it works quite well. And yeah, I think I will drag down to here actually. Let's connect this line a bit. So there are some more trees behind. So let's draw them. Okay, that's perfect. I think I'm happy about the composition and the contrast. I want maybe add some birds because I can see some pigeons flying around, and it is nice to add in this emptiness of the space some animation. But not too much. I think 3 or 4, 3 is enough for me. Okay, and maybe I will put another kids in here. Okay. My signature, and let me add just the double line to Hyde Park, and I've finished. What do you think? This is my completed drawing of the day, and I hope you enjoy this little stream. Another one of the day. Let me just grab the camera and put on this the scenery, and yeah, that's my sketch of the day. I put the there is a little bit of sunlight. That's perfect. Now the sun is about to set. Yeah, I put these monuments on the slightly left hand side of the drawing, on the left third, and I completed the other third with the crown of the tree and a little statue of the Queen Victoria here that counterbalanced the presence of the big monument on the left. And I put some people in the foreground that give some sort of scale to the drawings to make it looks big, because when you compare with the people, you can really appreciate how huge this monument is. 51 meters. So yeah, this is my interpretation of the Albert Memorial in Hyde Park, London. And let me know what you think about this drawing, and if you like this live stream, put a like to the video, and also consider to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also support me on Patreon, where you can unlock exclusive contents and additional tutorial videos as well. Thank you very much, everyone, and if you don't have any other questions, I will wrap this live here, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, thank you everyone. See you in the next one. And always remember to follow your passions and keep doing what you love. Bye for now.